National parks are often seen as serene escapes, vast wildernesses full of beauty, adventure, and peace. But sometimes, something else lurks between the trees. These are 5 allegedly real chilling encounters in national parks. You might never look at the woods the same way again. One, the thing in the tree. In 2018, a solo hiker named Drew was spending the weekend hiking Old Rag Mountain. He was experienced, confident, and had taken this trail before. But that afternoon, things felt different. About 4 miles into his hike, Drew stopped to rest under a tall oak tree. That's when he noticed a shape in the branches above him. Something hunched and still, too large to be a bird, too high up to be a person. Thinking it was just his eyes playing tricks, he raised his phone to zoom in. The screen showed something unmistakable. A pale, emaciated face watching him. Black, sunken eyes. No expression, just staring. Drew froze. He didn't move. Didn't breathe. Then, the thing blinked. That was all it took. Drew turned and bolted, sprinting for over a mile before stopping to catch his breath. When he looked back, nothing was there. But to this day, he won't hike alone again. And he never saw that part of the trail reopen, as if it was quietly shut down without explanation. 2. Campfire Visitor. In 2021, a group of 4 friends went backpacking deep into Yellowstone. They'd planned for 3 nights of camping, no cell service, and no other humans for miles. On the 2nd night, after a long day of hiking, they set up camp and started a fire. Around midnight, they heard leaves crunching, slow, deliberate steps just beyond the reach of the firelight. At first, they assumed it was an animal. But then a voice called out from the dark, "You've got a nice fire going." They all froze. A man stepped into the light, but something was off. His clothes were ragged and old, like they were from a different century. His skin was pale and weathered, and his eyes didn't seem to blink. He didn't sit, didn't speak again. He just stood there, staring at the flames. After several long minutes, he turned and walked back into the forest. The group stayed awake until sunrise and left camp before even eating breakfast. When they told a ranger later, he just nodded slowly and said, "You're not the first ones to see him." 3. The ranger that wasn't. An experienced outdoors woman named Lexi went camping with her boyfriend in Glacier in 2019. One night, around 2 a.m., they were woken by someone calling outside their tent. "Park ranger. Everything all right in there?" Lexi unzipped the flap and saw a man in a ranger uniform standing just a few feet away, but something about his face didn't sit right. He looked plastic, like a mask of a human face. She asked what was wrong. The ranger didn't answer. He just stood there, motionless, staring into the tent. Her boyfriend stepped out and shined his flashlight directly at the man. But the beam passed right through him. No shadow. No reaction. Then, just like that, the figure vanished into thin air. They packed up and left immediately. The next morning, they reported the incident. The ranger station confirmed that no patrols were scheduled for that night, especially not in that sector of the park. 4. The Screaming Valley. A college student named Miguel took a weekend trip to the Smokies to clear his head before finals. He camped alone in a valley near an unmarked trail, a spot he found using a hiking forum. Around 3 a.m., he was woken by a sound he described as a woman screaming. But it wasn't just one scream, it was a chorus of screams. Dozens, all at once. He burst out of his tent, flashlight shaking, but saw no one. The sounds continued for several minutes, then stopped instantly like someone had flipped a switch. The next day, he ran into an older couple who had camped in the valley once decades ago. When he mentioned the screams, they both went pale. "We heard them too," the man said. "We never went back after that night." Miguel looked up the trail name later, only to find it had a local nickname, Widow's Whale Hollow. No one had ever explained why. 5. Missing time. In 2020, a photographer named Haley took a solo trip to Olympic to shoot some misty sunrise photos in the rainforest section of the park. She hiked in before dawn and set up her gear around 5:30 a.m. Everything was normal until she blinked. When she opened her eyes, the sun was suddenly high in the sky. Her watch said 1:17 p.m. Confused and terrified, she checked her camera. It had stopped recording at 5:43 a.m. There were no photos, no time-lapse, just nothing. She retraced her steps and made it back to her car, shaken, but she couldn't remember anything from those lost hours. And on her drive out, she passed a wooden sign that hadn't been there earlier. It simply read, "Some places don't want to be remembered." Nature can be breathtaking, but sometimes it's the silence, the isolation, and the unknown that make it terrifying. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true horror stories every week. And let me know in the comments, have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain in the wild? Stay safe out there, and never hike alone.